Hey there folks, rinimt here, and welcome back to Let's Play Final Fantasy XIV Heavensward. In the last part, we took care of Alex? Sounds right? No. Last part, we finished up story. Alex was a while ago. We finished up the story for Heavensward. Officially, we're done. And it's time to wrap up this post stuff, which is gonna take a while. The Fires of Sohm. Ah, you're Arya, aren't you? I found you at last, Koopa. Vidofnir asked me to come find you. I've been searching high and low and near and far, Koopa. Do you know how difficult it is to look for someone while trying to stay unseen yourself? Well, never mind about that now. There are more important things to worry about, Koopa. Vidofnir was very insistent that I hurry you back to the Sohm summit as soon as possible. So, on your way, Koopa. Right. Well, that's my job. That's my job done. I'll go on ahead and let Vidofnir know you're coming. See you there, Koopa! Alright, so let's head to Marco. Thou hast discharged thy duty admirably, child of Marco. And greetings to thee, warrior of warriors. Thou dost have my gratitude for thy hasty arrival. I have bid thee hence to Sohm to aid in the quieting of these sacred grounds. When Nidhogg did meet his end, his minions quit the slopes of the mountain, and its once tranquil passages have become home to all manner of beastly intruders. And worse, the fires at the core of Sohm rage and swell as if roiled by some unwelcome parasite. The spirits of our fallen will find no rest until its disturbance is calmed. Thus would I have thee descend unto the mountain's depths and sweep clean Sohm's stony halls. Would that I could perform the deed myself. Alas, my girth prevents ready passage through the caverns leading into the mountain's molten heart. Wilt thou accept this challenge I lay upon thee? Thou art generous of spirit, child of man. Know that I shall not sit idly by whilst thou toilest within those winged nuisances whose screeches rend the air above the summit will soon learn of my displeasure. I sincerely hope Vidofnir never thinks of me as a winged nuisance. Anyway, good luck in there, Arya. Goodbye. So yeah, Sohm the Heart is now accessible. Let's do this thing. This is officially the last dungeon of Heavensward. Okay. Hopefully I don't need the macro. I'm probably going to use it anyway. So, welcome to Sohm Hard. Instead of descending going up, we're going down. Yeah, I'm going to use the macro. So, we're going to have lots of birds to start things off here, and we're probably going to go to the holes, I'm guessing. Well, my second shoulder tackle. I keep forgetting I don't have it here. Ah! Oh, the big birdie's back there. So we've got this blooming Chichu! I think this is one of our first times we've ever seen this enemy, actually. It's from Final Fantasy XIII. The design of it is, this big design of it is anyway. It might have been in previous Final Fantasy, but I know it was in 13, so that's the one I always remember it from. Alright. So, these little vents you see, if you're standing on them when their AoE goes off, you are going to take damage. Maybe a vulnerability stack, I don't actually know. I'm going to guess not, because I've never seen anyone take it on them, so... We got 2 Chichus this time. So... other than that, go ahead and take care of these and attempt to avoid these AoEs that are trying to go off in front of me here. I see we are down to 2, so okay, we're good. Oh my gosh, come on! I literally just got over there. Okay. You get to the wound. That probably just hit me. It did not. I am actually amazed that didn't hit me there. Alright, the Leighton Ward. So, Leighton Ward, there's gonna be, well, a bunch of AoEs going off and bulbs and stuff, and inflammable fumes is gonna be a eventual AoE. Very delayed from when you see the end of the animation there. Has a clonal tank buster, I believe. Spore sac is gonna spawn these spores all over the arena. You do not want to be near them when they go off. They have a pretty wide area of attack there. And he just used Excretion on me. Ah, what a jerk. My movement speed. It's fine. It's fine. Yeah, so he does that on random people. Another Spore Sack, and that's really the basics of Leighton Ward. The Leighton Ward. Alright, so one of these is going to have a proximity on it. You cannot avoid it. Just want to be far away from it. I forgot about that part, that on the second half does it. There is a proximity. My bad. There was a bit more to it. Don't need those. I shouldn't. I have so much that's decent, and I've been so lazy about it. Stop being lazy about it. Alright, we've got some mountaintop rock tunes. You know, I don't think we're at the mountaintop anymore. I think we're kind of in. But, well, there's what it is, I suppose. For now, I can do this. I burnt my shoulder tackle. I regret it. Ah! So they're gonna do that watery attack, just a targeted area of effect. Alright, down to just the one target. These are pretty well controlled pulls, because the path forward won't open until you clear everything that is needed. I really need to stop opening like that. That's a bad habit that I've gotten into. So we're gonna have some giant worms! Another worm specifically. Not too much to say about the giant worms, really. They're just big and wormy. Except now there's gonna be a sudden AoE and 2 of them are gonna appear. Oh my goodness me. 2. What are we gonna do? Oh, cool. Fine. Just focus these down one at a time. Yeah, freshwater cannon, just a line attack. What was actually behind there? This boss! I hate this boss. Galro. I do not like Galro. So Galro is going to have a lot of annoying attacks that we're going to have to pay attention to his body language for. So for this, we have to not be in the front. The tank can avoid it by, of course, running through him. I have to be very careful as I'm at the butt here. Oh, now he's going to do another cleave. Anytime now. Alright. Volcanic Howl is a AoE, and he's also going to light up like so. Alright, now I want to not be near him! I was thinking of the wrong move, clearly. So Infirmary! Alright, this is the move I was thinking of. No, that is that move again. So Infirmary makes it so you get less healing from any healing source. Infirmity. Alright, now he's gonna do a dash forward to whoever he happens to be targeting. Of course, if they move, they can still avoid it. Spit attack in front of them on whoever, or specifically whoever they were targeting with it. Ugh. In need of water. Rini is in need of water. Let's actually pull out to more of a max melee here. Ah! I dodged it! Yeah, so that's why I hate this guy, because of infirmity. I did it! I dodged him! I'm so pro. So pro. Gosh, I have so much stuff to sell. And we are now in the heart. So we've got some more of these, basically first boss of this place. And now we're also going to see these Blood of the Mountain. I need to get up there, but there's some AoEs going on. I can't get there. So you're going to see us preparing this torch move. If this goes off, it can be stunned. If it goes off, it's a massive AoE on everything. On everyone in your party. So you really want to focus those down first. Yeah, that boss was that Galro that time was actually fairly tame. He did the spin a few times, but he also didn't do his tail sweep. So I kept thinking, oh, he's gonna do it now. He's gonna do it now. No, he never did it. I remember him being a lot meaner. Also, yes, we are again in controlled pulls because of our path not being available. So again, we want to target down these Bloods of the Mountains. Hopefully they can just get stunned, like so. And they're down. Yeah, Torch is really, really nasty. I vaguely remember like one of my first times through this dungeon, when it was new. Oh, Torch was nasty. Torch was so nasty. Alright, well, I see the boss arena. And I also see 2 Bloods of the Mountains, again. Go for this right one first. Yeah, stuff like Holy from White Mage is really good for these Bloods. Of course, if you do stun too much, they will eventually start resisting it. So you have to hopefully kill it before they start resisting it. And not the dungeon part. Aww. I almost got the buff off. Oh, it's just a little crabby scorpion thingy that's on fire. Seriously, those are like 10-second cutscenes. 10, 20-second cutscenes. Why can no one wait for them? Why do I specifically be like, hey, can you please wait? Alright, Molten Silk. He is going to have a frontal safe spot in a butt side safe spot. That was the butt side safe spot. And also he's gonna have the this flying impress. Ideally the tank should pull away. No, I'm thinking of something else, okay. No, I am not thinking of something else. Alright, so because of that move, there's now a persistent effect on the floor. Essentially, we have a time limit. There is a what's called Enrage in this. Hiss is going to summon up. And notice the white mage there, like, just kind of ran in to prepare to fully. Alright, so yeah, Flying Crest is really the move to look out for here, because every time he uses it, our time limit increases for how long we have to beat this boss. Realm Shaker, basic AoE. Hopefully it's time to target Flying Crest on someone who isn't the tank. Yeah, here we go. So ideally, this is what you do. You run away when you have Flying Crest like that. So that when that appears, it appears far away. Because you also notice the first one just grew in size. Yeah. So, I mean, because it wasn't enough that we have a time limit, it's an expanding one. 10%. Alright, I thought I had a frontal safe spot. Maybe this one doesn't. I'm thinking of something else. Oh, no, 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 no. Thanks for proving me wrong. Thanks. Also, I'm very on the edge of being in lava right there. I was so on the edge. Ugh. Just what I needed. Experience. That's all I forgot to do my Hunter's Tales. Oops. Who was even good? It might not even be good anymore. I think it expired, actually. Hey, I can actually commend the tank here, because I was wanting to do that. Alright. That's Sohm all hard. So that was what was causing the disturbance, was a lava scorpion. Oh, come on! You spit me out here, making me have to fly back to Mogholm. What the heck? Actually, no. Do I have to fly back? No, I don't. I just talked to this solemn dragon. Hello. And just take that path back up to Charning Mess. Cool. Because, of course, they spit me out down below. Of course. So I guess I did climb down instead of up. Thou hast accomplished all I asked of thee, warrior of warriors. Through thine exploits, the ancient thing that did skitter on the mountain, in the mountain's core, hath been excised, and the fires of Sohm seethe angrily no more. This holy place belongeth not only to the brood of Hraesvelgr, but to all the dragons who roost within Dravania. Shall not be defiled while I yet draw breath. The dragons thought more, did take too many from us. Even those misguided kin who reveled in Nidhogg's vengeance deserve to find peace in the release of death. No matter the choices that set brood brother against brood brother, in the end we are all children of the Father of Dragons. Now that the war is over, I wish only that the souls of the fallen be spared the turmoil they suffered in life. Vidovnir cares so deeply for her kin, even those who have mocked Hraesvelgr's brood for their decision to stay out of the war. I only wish that I could be so tolerant of my brothers and sisters when they disagree with my brilliant suggestions, Kupo. Such musings aside, I should thank you for helping to preserve the peace around here. We'll be sure to keep a sharper eye out for intruders creeping in the Sohm's caverns from now on. We also pick up the Quicksand Orchestrion. Oops, that's not an Orchestrion, that's the Sound Adventure jacket. Alright, next stop is the Rising Thames. The last pillar to fall. Greetings, warrior of light. But one pillar of the Warring Triad remains, Zurvan, the icon known as the Demon. According to the histories I have uncovered, this monstrous being was worshipped by a race of Mericidian beastmen. These creatures are the key to maintaining Zurvan's manifestation, and we can be sure that many such thralls will be imprisoned somewhere within the research facility. It's imperative that we determine their exact location as swiftly as possible. We dare not risk repeating the near disaster we suffered at the hands of Sophia's servants. As such, your fellow Silents have already begun an exhaustive search, but there are several sectors which only you, Crowd, and I can enter without fear of enthrallment. Let us make our way to Azislaw forthwith and aid the investigations. Let's us do that. Arya, it is good we caught you. The facility has been swarmed by Imperial troops. By their standards, did we judge them soldiers of the Six? Aye, once more doth Regula Van Hydra stretch forth his hand to seize the forbidden fruits of Alec. Once more have our meticulous wards been swept aside like so many cobwebs. Your meddlesome wards were destroyed from within by the pulsating energies of an icon. Nay, put up your weapons and listen. The followers of Zurvan have awakened, and they toil to rouse their master. The demon's worshippers yet slumbered when we confronted Sophia. Could the tampering of her thralls have been more widespread than we thought? They shared a common enemy. 'Tis unthinkable that they would seek to free all those the Allegans had imprisoned. Yes, the cage doors are open. Mostly stand here quibbling over who picked the locks. My soldiers are inside the facility, risking their lives and their sanity. They volunteered to face death to prevent servants from waking him in the fullness of his power. Now, assuming you have at last understood the gravity of the situation, it is time that I rejoin them. But you cannot hope to succeed. The icon will enslave the minds of any who draw near. Thus did I seek out those with the power to resist his influence. Aid us, and mayhap my men will not perish in vain. You propose an alliance. I have delved into the depths of this place and found this technology wanting. These mechanisms have failed to hold their prisoners, and such broken artifacts are unfit to bring before the Emperor. Twice have you bested me in combat. Will you now lend me that strength and stand against our mutual foe? 'Twas in opposing your reckless schemes that his sail was lost to us. You expect us to simply forgive and forget all that has come before? I expect you to put aside your emotions and use your better judgment. Of course, I am dealing with savages. I will not stand here and justify the death of the Ice Maiden. We pursued our ideals and you pursued yours. Such was the result. Mayhap you might consider another point. In these endless clashes, we have all lost comrades dear to us. Yet, I choose to put aside past grievances to beg your champion's aid, to appeal to your reason. Thou art willing to build a bridge of common purpose upon such tremulous foundations. I too am hesitant to accept this arrangement, Archon Ishtola, but the other offer has been made to the Warrior of Light, and 'tis her involvement which shall ultimately sway its outcome. I shall abide by Ari's decision. Zurvan does need to be stopped. Then, for better or worse, we shall fight at your side. Mistress Carl and I are also resistant to primal influences. We shall aid you where we can. Then let us be on our way. Our companions have already passed through to the research facility. We should not lag behind. Okay, I'm like, my chat box isn't going away. The demon stirs. Like a suckling babe, he feedeth upon the ether siphoned unto him by his thralls. We must needs deprive him of this sustenance. Then we destroy those devices. Hold! Witness your soldiers! They have turned one against the other. Even half awake, Zurvan corrupts and converts those who enter his aura. The three of us, then, Arya, Unukahai. We rush in together and each disable a generator. We cannot give them the chance to rally a defense. There are 4 mechanisms by my count. If I can avoid the Icon's miasma, my blade will make short work of the last one. We, all of us, have pledged our lives to. Keep your lives. I would rather you tend to my fallen. Some may yet survive with their minds intact. I know not if my strength will be enough. I am no champion. The battlefield is no place for uncertainty, boy. Fate has blessed you with a unique talent and an occasion to use it. Do not waste such a gift. We strike. God, Zurvan is... Ukahai! He slumbers once more. You saved me. Why? Told you, boy. Yours is a gift too precious to waste. Gift the Emperor may one day have need of in his war upon these untamable icons. Emperor Varus, he raised me up from the ranks, stood against my detractors. I'd gladly give my life in his service. You must finish this. Save these leeches upon our start. Kill them all. Kill Zurvan. What was that coughing I had earlier? I needed it there. That was more dry throat compared to I'm dying, though. We must needs withdraw and prepare our assault. At the cost of his very life, the Legaeus hath prized open for us a window of opportunity. Ugh. Speaking for Urianger is difficult, okay? Oh, hey! Here we are. There's the entrance to, thingy. He's dead. Had I only been stronger. Enough of that. There will be time for regrets after we've rid the world of Zurvan. Trial has arrived. The demon has fallen back into torpor for now, but we must act swiftly if Regula's death is to have meaning. The survivors speak of an army of thralls loose in the facility, and we must assume that these followers continue their efforts to wake the icon. Let us then concentrate upon diverting them from their task. Mistress Kryl and Master Unkahai, prithee secure the controls of Zurvan's shackles and limit the restoration of his might. Archon Ishtola and I shall forge ahead and strike down those thralls as it would seek to harry you. Warrior of Light, thine is, as ever, the most perilous duty. Gather to thee thy most trusted companions and extinguish from this realm the fires of the demon himself. Nod and smile. Containment Bay Z1T9 is now accessible. So yeah, they are... two of them are based off the first letter. Sophia, they didn't want to do two S's, so they took the P. Or something. Alright, let's go into Zurvan here.
There's been enough sacrifice for one day. We must take the chance we've been given and defeat Zurvan now.
So we may be duoing Zurvan because we were in queue for a good 15 minutes with nothing! Also, I should probably get our fist of fire. So, Zurvan. Initiating final disengagement sequence. All non-combatants are advised to evacuate. My age slumber is at an end. Thousand suns may set. But the insult of mine imprisonment had yet been etched onto my mind. Eternal memory. I am here to mete out justice, to bestow the blessings of victory unending. I am Zurvan, he who standeth above all other gods, he who shall bring slaughter and ruin. Disengagement sequence complete. Subject Zurvan is released from containment. I saw there was a bunch happening there, but there's also lines to read. So we're actually going into Zurvan proper now, instead of this whole... Oh, look, the arena's falling away.
Good and evil, the war eternal.
Shouldn't have done this before, Zurvan. The fires of anger roar and howl. I guess he's not even gonna do the whole thing. So, Zurvan, now we are actually fighting Zurvan.
My doubt is
Of course, this is based on Demon from Final Fantasy VI, and I didn't get that off in time. So Soar, he is going to do dashes and this, and yeah. Put fire puddles on the ground. His main attack is a cleave, and basically every tank I know of likes to cleave a group. Every single tank. When you go into this in Duty Finder, when you actually get it. And he is going to soar again. It's pretty obvious where he's going to dash up to. Again, gonna do 2 of these. Let's go ahead and do this. I miss Rebel Birth. I'm actually not gonna stack that because, yeah, they can take it. Zurvan will eventually go into another phase here. By Sorrow's chill doth all become ice. And he is going to put an ice puddle below him! Yeah, you don't want to walk into that, which sucks for me!
I shall rise above all. Bear witness to my will.
Alright, we are in the ads phase. Ads are going to be spawning several ways of them. Now, maybe I can have them first to run in there. Maybe. So this is while he is actually preparing his limit break. We want to go for the execrated wit here, not the execrated will. The execrated wit is going to be preparing a Mericidian meteor. We of course want to deal with that ASAP. And we should have one more set. Will. Or, yeah, the wit, not the will. I literally just said it and I forgot. Good job, me. They just self-buff themselves. Come on. I didn't hit that button. They're also, yeah, they're just gonna keep self-buffing themselves until we kill them. I guess we're a little slower this time. Frozen in time, my armor flame unto eternity's reign.
Bow to mine infallible judgment.
Now we're properly in Zurvan. What manner of mortal withstand such punishment? By battle then shall your fate be
Endless torment.
decided. Raven in flesh, their brand is awoken. He already said the other part of that. Alright, so this is the Tank Buster multi-hit. I'm really bad about using shoulder tackle for pretty much right now. Broken seal. So I believe we're each gonna get a seal. Or element. This is bad. This is really bad because we didn't have enough bodies to eat all of those towers. So you have to go into the tower that matches your color. However, unfortunately, we had two people and we were both ice. So that move was a donut AoE. And he's also going to put some ice puddles down on the ground on people. They do not last long. Wave Cannon is a frontal attack. We've seen it before, but I didn't exactly have time to comment on it at that particular point. Alright, and we're going into soars again. So, let's just talk extreme here for a moment because I have the time. So, Extreme Zurvan. Oh, I'm not gonna go full on here, but yeah, so, Extreme Zurvan, when this was current content.
In endless torment.
Yeah. Good though. Yeah, when this was current content, basically the extreme groups would be like skip, soar, or disband, and now it's kind of just become a running meme, even now. People are like, oh, skip, soar, or disband, even if it's not like relevant at all. Just gonna eat all four? Oh, okay, Hologram. That would be why. Fighting Halberd! Safe spots behind him, on the butt. I don't know if y'all could tell what element he mainly is at this point. Purefing, here's the Tank Buster again. Fortunately, those vulnerability stacks are starting to hurt even for a level 80.
Does mine equivocation cost me this contest?
Tail End is run the heck out. Yeah, I don't know if you can tell what primary element he is.
Suffer in endless torment.
It's not very obvious, honestly. Surfing again. Yeah, it's like... I don't think I've ever actually seen Extreme Soar. I don't know why it's like, oh my gosh, skip soar or disband. And it's like, oh gosh. I don't get it. I really don't. Cyclical. Again, the donut AoE. I'm sure there's a reason why people don't want to see soar. I guess it's because your damage is low. Or something, that's what happens if you see soar. But, yeah. Alright, we did it! Who needs a group?
If such is my fate.
Got a little cut off there. He was trying to say it was such as my fate, but it's got fate. Alright. So that's Zurvan. Without enough people to eat towers. But... just imagine that, but a lot smoother if you have enough people to eat towers properly. Incredible as always, Arya. Hopefully that will be the last of our world sees of the likes of Zurvan. Every one of his thralls has been slain as far as we can determine. Our victory over the Warring Triad is complete. Impossible feat had we not been blessed with your cooperation. Let's not forget the efforts of Regula Van Hadros and his men. Without their noble sacrifice, the demon would have awoken far sooner and possessed of far more formidable energies. The bodies of the fallen now accompany survivors on the journey to Garlemald. It is known that the Imperials recognize no god, yet they would honor the dead in their own fashion. And when next we meet, our fleeting alliance will surely be forgotten. 'Twas an interesting exchange, nonetheless. They spoke of their present ruler as a man who values self-sufficiency. Varus befriended Regula in their youth, it seems, and was highly impressed by his martial prowess. It is common knowledge that Regula's rise to Legatus was in great part advocated by the Emperor himself. Regula freely admitted his shortcomings when it came to politics, and it was Varus's unconditional support that served to win his undying fealty. One does not expect such tales of comradeship to lurk beneath the Empire's iron exterior. Contrary to all expectations, the man died a hero. Witnessing the way you all leapt into danger without hesitation, it would seem I am surrounded by heroes. And yet, wait, old actions were up, but heroic. I have not the qualities nor the characteristics to stand at the warrior of light's side. What a curious thing to say. Are you truly concerned that you do not measure up to some arbitrary requirement? If you knew the path I walked to reach this place, then you would understand why I doubt myself so. Return with me to the Rising Stones, and I shall tell you of it. With your victory over Zurvan, the Warring Triad is finally defeated. I'm afraid, however, that mine own efforts have often been more hindrance than help, and you and your fellow Silence deserve to hear the reasons behind my actions. I promise to tell you my journey, of who I am, of where I am from. The truth is, I am not of this world. I was born of a different star, a child whose power of the echo was too feeble to save his dying world. A child who, unlike you, never became a warrior of light. When all I knew stood on the brink of destruction, I was yet half-grown. Had I been born but a handful of years earlier, history may have written a different tale. The seeds of other heroes that had yet to fully sprout may not have withered and perished. The star I failed to save is known to you now as the Void. Brian J is just like, meh. Okay. Though Arya Du thought that I spoke of my homeland. Oh, goodness me. I have explained to her before the cause of its ruin. A magic was devised to contain a defeated primal's might within the stone known as an Orosite. And the energies which bled from this imperfect vessel gradually corrupted the champions who wielded it. These heroes became slaves to an insatiable hunger for ether, eventually transforming into hideous fiends, and none who clung to the faint traces of light were strong enough to oppose them. The demons next turned upon each other in the war which drained the land's ether in ever greater amounts, till one day the star was suddenly swallowed in a flood of darkness. An entire world unmade in an instant. The void you encounter here in this realm are the twisted remnants of once mortal beings who gnaw on what motes of life force remain. And as I lay dying, beaten and broken in my failed last stand, 'twas a white-robed Ascian who found my tormented spirit and bore me away to the rift betwixt worlds. Elidibus has been my master ever since. At my mentor's feet did I learn of the nature of reality, of the existence of mirrored worlds, and the eternal struggle between dark and light. Sudden and overwhelming superiority for either side will shatter the balance. The world in question will be returned to the void by a calamity beyond imagining. As a self-appointed custodian of this balance, my master warned me that the source, the first of all worlds, slips perilously close to oblivion. In what spirit did this master proffer such a warning, a benevolent gesture, or veiled threat? To these questions and more do I mean to coax forth answers, yet no matter his intention, that Hydaelyn doth teeter on a knife's edge is an undeniable truth. Knowing this, what choice was given you to make? I chose to join my master and act as its instrument on this star. The tragedy that befell my home cannot be repeated. I will see this world saved. And yet I hesitate at the most crucial of moments. What right have I to stand alongside a true warrior of light? In thine own words thou wert called before thy time, and I offer that thou dwellest overmuch on the question of what maketh the hero. The search for the answer leaveth thee paralyzed by doubt. Heed me, Master Unokahai. Thou needest not believe thyself a hero to perform great deeds. 'Tis the deed itself which earneth thee the hero's mantle. Aye, the ideals you hold can be less important than having the faith to act upon them. Rhaegal's loyalty to the Emperor guided his actions until the last, and though we did not see eye to eye on many things, his final deeds can be called not less than heroic. Personally, I find that faith in my companion allows me to act unhindered by uncertainty. I know that should I ever falter, Arya and the others will be there to support me, or steer me back onto the right path if needed. I see. In the days leading up to my world's destruction, I was entirely alone. I never knew what it was to have such comrades. I can't imagine the loneliness you must have felt, but look around you now, Unuka. You're not alone anymore. Welcome to the Scions of the Seventh Dawn. I will fulfill my promise to save this world, and when I stumble, I shall be glad to have your hands there to steady me. My apologies, this is difficult for me. For so long have I spoken from behind a mask. We should all feel comfortable speaking without such concealments. Yeah! Ahem. I should hope you appreciate the irony of that statement, Urianger. A demonic duplicate. Whilst we were examining the controls for Zurvan's shackles, I found a tombstone that may be of interest to you, Arya. Would you like to take a look? The information contained within this device appears to have been used to generate a simulated battle of grueling difficulty. Challengers would be pit against a simulacrum of Zurvan, the power of which has been enhanced to the icon's highest conceivable magnitude. It is described as the final trial of the most elite of Aleg's warriors, intended to distinguish the truly exceptional among them. I've witnessed no champion more exceptional than the Warrior of Light. Are you not curious to see just how powerful Zurvan may have been? I urge you to visit the verification node and undertake the ultimate test of the Allegan Elite. Chapter 4. Zurvan. The followers of Zurvan were broken from their slumber, likely the doing of Sophia's worshippers, and immediately began attempting to rouse their master in the fullness of his power. We found ourselves in an unexpected alliance with the forces of the 6th Legion, and rushed inside the research facility to put a stop to the thrall's ambitions. Although we succeeded in this initial endeavor, the effort cost the lives of many Imperial soldiers, including that of Regula Van Hydros himself. Seizing the opportunity their sacrifice brought for us, the Warrior of Light led the company of Echoblessed champions against the half-woken demon, and cast down the final pillar of the Warring Triad. By champions, I mean a level 80 sold it for me. Upon discovering the flaws apparent in the Allegan's technology, the Legatus chose to abandon its acquisition and looked to recruit the aid of the Scions, and with nary a moment's hesitation. His was a decision motivated not by glory, but by loyalty to his emperor. Above all, he strove to enforce the will of his childhood friend, and ensure that the primal threat hanging over this star would be eradicated. Over the course of our quest to eliminate the Warring Triad, the meddling of the Guardian Empire has been our greatest obstacle. That an officer so lofty within its rank should recognize the danger and make such a rational choice is a significant development in our war against the primals. Ere the star upon which I was born became the void, the champions who lived upon it chose to embrace self-destruction rather than cease their infernal conflict. They became lost within their own ambitions, strangling the life from one another even as the flood of darkness swallowed them whole. Here in Hydaelyn, the power of light is not so feeble. This world will survive what the balance holds, but we must also take care that the scales do not swing too far in light's favor. As we fight on the side of light, we must trust our companions will steer us away from the lure of extremity and help guide us along the narrow path to salvation. It is the actions of men such as Regula Van Hydros that give me hope that the future of the star is not beyond redemption. Alright, let's go unlock. Start with next turn. Activating verification systems. Elimination trial request acknowledged. Awaiting tombstone data. Data processed. Adversary. Warring Triad. Zurvan. Threat level. Extreme. This is the final qualifying test for surviving elite squad enlistees. Participation is only permitted to candidates who agree to unrestricted biopsy procedures following the trial. Specifically, enlistees who successfully complete the program will be certified as genetically superior and must submit to cell harvesting for subsequent cloning initiatives. Elimination trial survival rates are currently calculated at 1.9%. Activating reality augmentation. Initiating elimination trial. The Empire thanks you for your service. Postmortem data will be used to improve the survival rates of subsequent candidates. Your sacrifice is appreciated. There we go. Zurvan Extreme. If you skip soar, I guess, I would still argue that Sephiroth's the hardest one. So I hear there is not a one in Party Finder. I guess that's gonna do it for this part. And the next part, I guess we will wrap up our 24-man raid. Oh no, another kind of really bad queue. Maybe I'll unlock some jobs next time. I'll figure it out. No, we'll do it. We'll do it. I'm committing. I'm gonna do it. But if it's so much, I'm doing this. So, also gonna wake myself up apparently. What the heck? Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, consider liking, commenting, and or subscribing. If you really enjoy it, consider supporting the channel. All support greatly helps to keep doing content like this and more. You can find the links for that in the description, along with links to me on social media. So thank you again for watching, and until next time, this is rinimt, signing out. Bye!